We back for another session of breaking down a world-class Twilight real estate video in terms of the shots, the grade, everything like that. I've shot thousands of these before, and yeah, I'm just going to break down what I do in the edit here because it's like a little bit of secret sauce. And it's hard to find some of this info, you know. I wish I'd had videos like this like 3 to 5 years ago. So I've been doing this for like 5 years. Yeah, shot thousands of these and shoot on the Blackmagic 6K. So we can get all that nice information and go hard on the grade. So I'm going to show you what we do here. Starting off with a drone shot. Yeah, hey creators, Aimon here. This is where I help creators go full time. And yeah, I run a real estate media company.
One of my favorite topics.
All right, we're starting off with a couple of tight shots.
Gentlemen,
really like this home here. It's like really covered by this tree. It's on a big block, which is nice for this area. So I just thought I'd jump in, get a couple of them details. The little swing moving, that was hard to get. I had to push that and then run around.
One of my favorite topics.
And I like to do this. I like to do the J cut where we've got the agent here, got the J. So he's talking over and you can kind of show some context before we get to the agent. So we've lined this shot up quite well. Very nice. So yeah, with these guys, obviously we just punch in a little bit. And then it's just about making tiny little adjustments here. As you can see, we've moved it 4 to the left, 4 points to the left, 1 point up or down, right? And the way we do this is we just zoom right in. And yeah, like these aren't perfectly aligned, the trees and stuff, right? But we've aligned it to the thing that's the most important, which is the house, right? And that's where the center point of the frame where you're going to be looking. So if you really break it down and you really look at every little detail, it's not perfectly aligned. Sometimes it is. But I think the back shot that I'll show you, it's really fantastic in terms of alignment. But the middle part is aligned, and you know, unless you're a videographer, you're not going to be really looking at that. And you know, again, this is also way more aligned than probably 95% of the other videographers out there that I see. So, but yeah, having a look at this guy, we've just to break down the grade a little bit. We've got this double mask again. If you saw my last video, we love to go hard on the double masking. So this is the shot here. It's kind of lame. You know, straight out of camera, like obviously we've got our, you know, our transformation node, we've got some saturation happening, got a little bit of contrast and all that jazz, right? But what really makes this pop is you put a mask around the outside of the home and then you do another mask. So you copy that mask, you're going to track it, right? Copy the mask, invert that mask. And this second window, you're saturating a bit more, pulling some of them highlights down, and you're desaturating some of the yellows using your sat v sat curves. And like again, just look at that shot and now look at that shot. Insane. So much better. You know, so these are the kinds of things where it's like, if you really want premium customers, this is the kind of premium little extra steps that's going to get you customers that love you, you know. And it's hard because there's a lot of people, they don't notice this stuff. So it's all about you noticing it, really. So he's talking about the block here. So we show the block. And then we show some of the, just got a little, so it's just the same shot here. And I've jumped into, I think I've got a tracking tutorial up. You can check that out. But this is just doing my call outs. And I've just duplicated this guy and just added some key points on the cropping just to make it add a bit of spice to the animation. And then also in my drone shots, I have a little, this is hugely powerful if you're using any drone, really. So this is kind of what it looks like out of camera. Like I've pushed the shadows up a little bit, I believe. But like adding a window, right, and we're desaturating some of the blues on the home, it makes it look way classier. This is not the best shot to show for that. Let me see if I've got it on the start here. I do a little bit. So yeah, again, that's not the best shot to show, but like, because we're a little bit later. But the earlier it is, like that can be dangerous, how good that looks. Especially on we're shooting on a Mini 4 Pro, which is like, it just makes the drone look much more premium than it actually is. And again, if you saw the last one, obviously we've got denoise on all of these clips. We've got halation on all these clips, which really makes everything shine even more. But we'd have it off for the tutorial so that my computer doesn't lag to hell, you know? It's a beast of a computer, but it's not that good, all right? All right, now I did this cheeky little thing here with the agent intro. We just kind of whip up. Oh. And I kind of figured this shot out so like what I was going to do is whip that into this shot, which is a kitchen shot, and that would have worked really well. But then as I was shooting outside, I was like, you know what, I can add this shot in. So it's just kind of like, again, from my last video, like I have a hero sequence in mind when I rock up to the house. I'm like, all right, we'll go from here to here to here, and we'll make the movement go like this in these particular ways. And I usually have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 mini hero sequences within the edit. And again, I edit that in my mind on set. Now, this might not suit you, and I know a lot of people, they just roll and they shoot a bunch of shots and then they figure it out in the edit. That's just not how my mind works, right? I want to make sure that I've kind of have a handle on how it's going to look. And that also makes the editing process easier because you only shoot what you need, right? So anyway, boomsies into that guy. Boomsies into that guy. We've got our little whoosh sound effects. We've got our little adjustment layer with the cheeky little bit of zoom blur on there. Into the kitchen, and then that zooms out again to the kitchen, zooms out again to the kitchen, baby. Two tight shots coupled together. This is a nice track as well. And then 2 like medium-ish shots. So I believe we were like maybe at 15, 16 mil, which is about 22, 25, I don't know, on the zoom lens there. So just a different way to frame the kitchen, you know. So yeah, really nice little hero sequence of the kitchen there because it's a nice kitchen, really open plan. Anything special about the grading here? We've got desaturating a lot of them yellows. All right, I don't love it when it's crazy yellow inside. We've obviously got our sat node, which does dangerous things as well. And we do that on all the insides here. Another 2 zoomy boys. Again, when we have a big property, I just kind of go harder on the edit, on the shoot and the edit. So yeah. Boomsies, straight into this guy, living. We didn't even need to show this shot twice. Honestly, we could have shown this just with this, but I usually manage to, look, what have we got in like minute 4, minute 5. So we usually try and go for under a minute or so. And the reason I do that is because it's like, from my point of view, what you're doing here really is you're making a teaser trailer, okay? Now, there's a lot of people that shoot real estate videos, and they make it more like the trailer. So, you know, when movies come out, they drop a teaser trailer, which is like 30 seconds long. And it's like all the best shots. And you're like, oh my God, I have to see that movie. I can't wait for the trailer to come out. But the trailer, when that comes out, from my point of view, that's the buyer going to the open home. So that's like the movie trailer. You get to see all of the house and you're there in the house. You get to see more of it. But that's not actually living there. The movie is living there, if that makes sense. So what I'm really making is a teaser trailer. So I can be a bit savage in terms of like, I don't include 2 shots of like some living areas, but I did in this instance. So I'm moving on outside. We've got a nice little dynamic zoom on here. Ease in and out. And that just really, because again, so this is an example. I didn't shoot this second area over here. I was like, let's just show the whole area one shot, you know? So we're zooming out and we've got a nice little, and it just really adds to that epicness of that shot. And I hold that shot for a little bit as well. Nice. Cool. And then some tight shots again. So I do kind of show that area, but it's just a quick tight shot. Cool. We're outside again. We've done this this window here. I remember this one being a little bit more annoying because it kind of tracked, and then I had to do, you can see it's like the mask over here. It's gone rogue on me, fam. So I had to keyframe that one by one. Hate doing that. It is what it is though, because when you get a shot and it ends up looking like this, you know, like that's the shot. We'll go boom, and then we put a halation on. Oh, baby. It looks so good. So, and then this is another little mini hero sequence that I had in my head when I was on set. So it goes a boomsies into this one, FPV into this one, FPV into this one, and we go through the little trellis thing into the outside again. So obviously we've gone into the kitchen here. Most important part, just kind of like this is where you're going to be cooking your food and living and stuff. And then, all right, we're like back to the outside. Look again, here we are in the home, just re-establishing context. And then the next most important parts. So obviously that tree is banging part, FPV mode. I could have fit this in the little kitchen sequence, but it felt a bit weird because it was a little bit to the back. So I was like, I'll just grab this FPV shot, and this is actually reversed. This shot, I've compound clipped this, reversed it, sped it up, because it was easier to get this shot backwards, right? So that's how I actually got it. Anyway, boomsies into the over around the side of the plant, and then through the trellis there into another FPV shot. So this is one of my favorite hero sequences that I've kind of done recently. Just a really nice way to kind of frame a couple of parts of the house, really. So, and then nice little sequence of a few tight shots together, right? So we're just like boom, 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 all in the same kind of order. There's another shot that maybe I didn't need to include, but I did anyway. You just kind of make those decisions in the moment. Just like another cool area that I guess you could be using. Could have cut that, but anyway, we're over in the pool here. This is an example of that. Like a lot of people, they could show 3 shots of the pool. There's a lot of, it's kind of like a main area that people are buying a home for. But I was like, nah, just 1 shot of the pool. And then we're over here. And we're kind of looking at the house here. Over the pool. Now, this was an insane lineup, this one. You can see it's lined up perfectly except for just over here on the side of the water feature. And so, yeah, that's just really, and I just really held that shot for like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, like 3.5 seconds, right? Really make a statement on it. And again, we're over here. We've got our, so again, this is what it looks like at a camera. It looks good. Like I've exposed correctly and stuff. We're on my parade, but it's not max, right? So we've got our sky grade on. It's just a cheeky little window, right? Increasing the saturation, pulling the highlights down. We've got another window that we've just pulling some of the highlights down outside the entire home. I've got a bit of softness over here, pulling the saturation up even more. And then this final one, again, we're tracking these windows. We're bringing that up on the home. So we're really going crazy on it. And again, these are the kinds of things that are going to win you like insane listings and make you more money as a videographer. So again, we're desaturating some of those yellows and the sat v sat curve. Where we really went ham on the gamma, the mids and the shadows here. And again, you can see the image is starting to break apart, right? It's quite noisy. But again, we've got the denoise on all the clips here. And when you add the halation on, beautiful. You could probably put that as a photo on the actual listing. You wouldn't, you know. But anyway, jump into this next shot again. And I did get 2 more shots, but this is the best one to kind of frame the house, and I decided to cut those shots. And again, we've just gone ham. We've tracked the entire thing. So let's see. That's what it looks like. It looks all right, right? But we put all these 3 on there. Boomsies. We're going hard, okay? And all right, now we're in the later end of the sequence here. We're just kind of showing the bedrooms. Nothing crazy, just ending it off with like where you're going to be spending the least amount of time. That was a nice shot. I didn't go crazy on it. There's just a little window there. And, you know, this color grading, like you can just grab my node structure course, link in bio. It's really cheap, and I'll just go through everything that I do here, break it down so you don't have to go through 5 years of hell of trying to figure it all out if you want. But that's up to you. Either way, I'd like to finish on a cheeky little outside shot. That was maybe not the best shot ever, but I love going black and white in the last shot, and that's kind of how we rolled with this one, you know. But yeah, any questions about this, feel free to leave it in the link in the description. Make sure on the agent audio we're going to have voice isolation on. DaVinci Resolve is just king, you know. But yeah, if you want to watch the actual full video, just type that into YouTube, you'll find it. But yeah, hopefully you've gotten some value out of this video. This is kind of like how we roll when we're shooting high quality, high class properties to make sure the agent loves us, to make sure the seller loves the agent and the seller loves us, gets us way more work. And yeah, we just love to over deliver. And these are all some of my little cheeky tricks to kind of take everything to the next level. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.